Before time carved its first arc across the cosmos, and before a single inhabited world drew breath beneath a distant sun, the Universal Father conceived a movement, not of bodies, but of divine love descending. The Urantia Book describes this movement as the Paradise Sons of God, a magnificent order of divine beings who, rather than waiting for creation to ascend toward paradise, chose to pour themselves downward into the universe, into the local, the particular, the intimate. These sons are not reflections or shadows of God. They are, in a very real sense, God going out to meet his children. The Paradise Sons are broadly organized into three great orders. First among them are the Creator Sons, also called the Michaels, who are born of the combined will of the Universal Father and the Eternal Son. These are the architects and sovereigns of the local universes, beings of supreme creative power, each one unique, each one entrusted with a vast domain of created life. Second come the magisterial sons, or Avanals, who serve as the judicial ministers and merciful ambassadors of the Paradise Trinity, conducting bestowals and adjudications across the realms of time. Third are the Trinity teacher sons, or Danals, those tireless educators whose mission is the spiritual enlightenment of entire ages. Together, these three orders form the great descending stream of divine love, the Father's presence made personal, approachable, and near. Of all the Paradise Sons, none are more majestic, more consequential, or more intimately connected to the lives of ordinary beings than the Creator Sons. Each one is the sole creation of his kind. No two Creator Sons are alike in nature, personality, or expression. They are described in the Urantia Book as being created by the joint action of the Universal Father and the Eternal Son, which means they partake of both the Father's absoluteness and the Eternal Son's pure spiritual nature. In their persons, these two infinite realities meet and become personal, knowable, and present. There are approximately 700,000 Creator Sons in existence, each governing a local universe of his own making, with space potentially accommodating up to 10 million inhabited worlds. The local universe is not merely an administrative district, it is the living creation of its Michael Son, shaped by his vision, sustained by his spirit, and filled with beings who reflect, in their own way, something of his nature. Within his domain, the Creator's Son is, to all intents and purposes, God. He is the closest personal representation of the Universal Father that most beings will ever encounter. Mortal creatures who look to their Creator's Son for guidance, mercy, and salvation are not looking at a substitute for God. They are looking at the real presence of the Father, personalized and made accessible at the level of time and space. Perhaps the most extraordinary teaching in the Urantia Book concerns how a Creator Son achieves full sovereignty over his universe. He's not born into absolute authority, he must earn it, and the manner in which he earns it is breathtaking in its humility. Before a Creator Son can be acclaimed the supreme experiential sovereign of his local universe, he must descend 7 times into that universe, each time incarnating as one of the very orders of beings he has created. This is called the Bestowal Ministry, and it represents one of the most profound expressions of divine love found anywhere in the Urantia revelation. In his first bestowal, the Creator Son incarnates as a Melchizedek, experiencing the life of the highest order of local universe sons. In his second, he lives as a Lananondak son, taking on the role of a system sovereign or planetary prince. His third bestowal finds him as a material son, the order of being typified in the Urantia narrative by Adam and Eve, experiencing the challenges of physical administration and biological upstepping. With his fourth bestowal, he descends further still, living as a seraphim, an angel, embracing the ministry life of the heavenly hosts who serve mortals. His fifth bestowal takes him into the experience of an ascending pilgrim, living as a Maramsha being, that intermediate state between material existence and pure spirit. His sixth bestowal carries him into life as a mortal of the realm, though still in the spirit sense, gathering experience in yet another form. The seventh and final bestowal is the supreme act of divine condescension, The Creator Son incarnates as a flesh and blood mortal on one of the inhabited worlds of his own universe, born of a woman, subject to hunger and weariness, to temptation and sorrow, to misunderstanding and death. Only in this way can he gain the complete experiential knowledge of what it means to live as a creature, to struggle from below rather than to guide from above. When he has done this, when he has lived a mortal life from birth to death with courage and love and faith, he is welcomed back to paradise, and after due process, acclaimed the full and unquestioned sovereign of his universe by the Ancients of Days.
Our local universe is called Nebadon, and its creator son is Michael of Nebadon. His capital is Salvington. Our world, known in celestial records as Urantia, sits in the system of Satania, within the constellation of Norladiadek, a relatively small and ordinary planet in a vast universe of 10 million inhabited worlds. And yet, by the choice of Michael himself, Urantia became the stage for the most significant event in the history of Nebadon. For it was here, on this world, that Michael chose to complete his seventh and final bestowal, and he did so as Jesus of Nazareth. The Urantia Book presents this as one of its most striking and transformative revelations. Jesus of Nazareth was not merely a great prophet, a wise teacher, or even a son of God in the spiritual sense that all mortals are children of the Father. He was the creator of Nebadon, the divine being who had called the stars of this universe into existence, who had fashioned its suns, who had authored the life patterns planted on its worlds, who had governed its administration since the beginning. He chose this world, this time, these people. He was born into poverty, grew through childhood, worked as a craftsman, and walked the dusty roads of ancient Judea as fully human in experience, even while remaining fully divine in nature. The Urantia Book describes his life on Urantia as the most perfect mortal life ever lived on any world in all of Nebadon. He did not merely endure human existence, he embraced it fully, finding in it joy and grief, friendship and betrayal, purpose and agony. His death on the cross was not a legal transaction, nor a sacrifice to appease divine wrath. It was the final act of a bestowal life, the seal upon a mortal existence lived in perfect harmony with the Father's will, the culminating demonstration to all the intelligent beings of Nebadon that a Creator's Son had truly become one with his creatures. After his resurrection, recorded in the Urantia Book as 19 separate appearances to individuals and groups, he ascended to Salvington, where he was acclaimed sovereign of Nebadon. His authority is now supreme, experiential, and incontestable.
A Creator's Son never rules his universe alone. From the very beginning of his creative work, he is partnered with a divine consort, a creative daughter of the Infinite Spirit, known in the Urantia Book as the Universe Mother Spirit, or the Divine Minister. She is not subordinate to him in essential divinity. Rather, the two are complementary, co-equal expressions of the Paradise Trinity in the local universe. If the Creator's Son is the sovereign and the paternal presence, the Mother Spirit is the minister and the maternal presence, and together they constitute the Father and Mother of the entire local creation. Where the Creator's Son provides the spirit gravity and the sovereign authority, the Universe Mother Spirit provides the mind circuits that allow creatures to think and reason, the angelic hosts who minister to mortal worlds, and the life force that animates biological existence. The seraphim who guide human destinies, the cherubim who carry out celestial ministry, the midwayer creatures who work between the material and spiritual realms, all these owe their existence and their endowment to the creative action of the Mother Spirit. Their partnership is eternal. Neither is complete in local universe function without the other, and together they form the most complete personal expression of the Paradise Trinity available to the beings of time and space.